Hi everyone, I'm Anshin Kelly, for those of you who do not know, and welcome back, for those who've been watching, to Let's Talk About Love, and we're going to pick up from where we left off. And if you remember, we're going to talk about the ego, or the fallen mind, within the human being, the self, essentially the selfish self, and sort of delve into a little bit about its nature and how it functions. And we're going to do this by describing or presenting the four fallen natures, which I have taken from a spiritual work called the Divine Principle. And I felt that their description, this spiritual work's description of the fallen mind, uh, divided up into these four fallen natures, was a very clear and succinct and in-depth way of describing the fallen self, or the selfish self. So thank you very much for tuning in, and let us begin. So the first fallen nature is, as the Divine Principle says, is the failure to see from God's viewpoint. Again, it is the failure to see from God's viewpoint. Now, as I said in the last two videos, we are perhaps using the traditional terms such as God, such as Creator, but we're using them in a very untraditional sense, and we're trying to step away from any bad feeling that we've collected along the way of dogmatic reasons and reasons to use these terms, to use God's name and this force in the universe, whatever it is that one's culture or one's religion calls it. But we are trying to focus more on what it is, what it essentially is, and understand our inward or internal connection to it, or our essential connection to it, and that our growing understanding of it is that it is unconditional love. And so, having said that, if we're going to sort of translate the first fallen nature in terms of using unconditional love, it would be, we could say that it is the failure to see from the viewpoint of unconditional love, the failure to live out of our selflessness, our unselfish self. The second fallen nature, is leaving proper position. Now, if we were to describe, again, it is leaving proper position. That's the second fallen nature. If we were to describe what the Divine Principle means by proper position, I'm going to use the example of the food chain and the little animal that we know as the little bunny rabbit. The little bunny rabbit is at the very bottom of the food chain. It doesn't eat any other animals. It's completely vegetarian, so it is at the very bottom of this food chain. And we may be able to see it from a very humanistic viewpoint of, oh, poor rabbit, it gets to be eaten by everybody else. But the fact of the matter is, the universe and all the creatures in the universe are very happy to be born within their proper position in the universe, and they are happy only when they are fulfilling their role in this proper position. So a rabbit would be very odd if it were hunting caribou or attacking humans, and that this wouldn't be a rabbit. And a rabbit because it is an animal and its instinct is built into it by the universe, and is in a way programmed into this beautiful way of living through its instinct and its cuteness and the way it serves humanity in this way. It fulfills a certain role in this position and cannot leave its proper position in the universe. It is created, as other spiritual works have said, not specifically about the rabbit, but it said about the general creatures of the universe, that everything is created to serve a higher purpose, to serve a higher love. A rabbit is not only created born to bring joy and beauty, but also to feed other animals. So another example would be if we were to use humanity, a human, in a more simplistic example, since, as we all know, humans can be very complicated. But if we use the example of a child in the classroom, and the child's proper position in that classroom is the student. Is a student, and in that position they are expected, not just by society, but they are expected even within themselves to show respect to the teacher, to open themselves up to learning, to be in harmony with what is going on in the classroom, and to leave his or her proper position would be to act out or create disharmony in the classroom. So we don't want to feel trapped in this term proper position. We want to feel and understand that actually the universe is in harmony because everything has a positioning in the universe, and within that context, all creatures and all beings, including humans, are ultimately happy and fulfilling that role in that position in the universe. Since when we are in that position in the universe, we are in oneness with unconditional love, and therefore in harmony, therefore at peace, and therefore happy. So to leave proper position is, even in the most extreme sense, would be a human being killing another human being. Even in a more simplistic sense, what is going on even in our minds. To leave our proper position in the universe is to go out of, to act out of, even within our minds, act out of that place that does not see from the viewpoint of unconditional love, that is not in communication with the divine self. So that is the second fallen nature, is to leave proper position. The third fallen nature is reversal of dominion. And so what happens through not being able to see from the viewpoint of unconditional love, not being able to see from the viewpoint of God's viewpoint, leaving proper position, this reversal of dominion happens, where essentially we are living out of not the original mind, not the divine mind, but the egotistical mind, the fallen mind, the selfish mind. And so, and the selfish mind lives or uses the body, uses the intellect, emotion, and will within the human being to manifest the selfishness, manifest the destruction. So when the ego becomes reverses, when everything reverses dominion. The ego is in dominion of, or actually a more accurate description would be enslaving the original mind, entrapping the original mind, burying the original mind, and it brings along the body, the intellect, emotion, and will with it. And so, in a way, we can understand that in the past, this is why the denial of the body by many spiritual people have been a very powerful practice, because the body is, or the ego, we are so used to the ego using the body for selfish purpose. So instead of the spirit, instead of the original mind being in dominion, in proper dominion, in harmony of the body, of the intellect, of the emotion, of the will, the body then becomes subject, because it is being driven, because essentially the ego is now subject. The ego is in control. Okay, so this is the reversal of dominion, and then in a way, in a very severe way, we are cut off from our spiritual self. The fourth fallen nature is the justification, or in proper terms, in the divine principle, it is the multiplication of evil. So, an evil being anything that is not of unconditional love, anything that is not of heaven, and so that is essentially our justification, and we through the first, second, and third fallen natures of not seeing from the viewpoint of God, not seeing from the viewpoint of unconditional love, leaving proper position, and reversal of dominion. Instead of striving again to see, to inherit or solicit the viewpoint of unconditional love, or the original mind, we justify our behavior through our ego, or our standpoint through our ego, and pass it on to our neighbor. So that is the multiplication of evil, and that is the four fallen natures. Please follow along in the next video, and we will talk about more in depth about the mind and the body, and the disunity that has happened through these four fallen natures, and how we strive. We're going to begin to talk about how we strive again to unify the mind and body, centered on unconditional love. So we'll keep talking, and thank you very much.